Everybody.
Steve.
Cool.
Steph probably answered it for us in the third quarter the other night, but how was his elbow?
It's fine. Yeah, nothing wrong.
Is there any chance of draining that welt or whatever was on there?
Not that I know of. The trainers didn't say anything about it, and there doesn't appear to be any swelling.
He was able to practice normally today?
Uh-huh.
What did you guys get done today, after a day off yesterday and focus?
We went over some defense and some strategic stuff, 5-on-0. We didn't scrimmage, but we got up and down the floor, got a lot of running and shooting in for rhythm.
How happy have you been with the defensive approach with Draymond Bell to sort of freelance a little bit around and leaving the one guy kind of open at times? How's that work for you, think?
Well, our defense was good the other night. We did a great job of finishing the possessions with a rebound. That's what we didn't do in the first game. So it's not just getting a stop, it's securing the ball. And I thought our offense helped our defense a lot too by not turning it over. We were able to avoid those easy transition hoops that they hurt us with in game one.
By making sure you have the extra body around to help out with Durant or Westbrook, is that almost a necessary evil when you're playing a team with two guys as talented as they are?
I mean, you're always kind of picking your poison with every matchup. In the NBA, you've got to worry about certain players, certain actions. Every team is a little different.
Right.
And with this team, obviously, Russell and KD are so good that you have to do anything you can to slow them down and weigh the consequences of what you're doing strategically. So we'll keep going. We'll keep trying to slow them down, but we know they're going to get their points.
You knew also that they may make adjustments on how they approach you as far as who that fifth guy is?
Well, that's what the playoffs are about, going on to the next game, making adjustments, and both teams will do that. Both teams have to be ready.
Oklahoma City's obviously been a good team for a handful of years. Was there anything else about their home court that makes that a tough place to play?
Well, it's just extremely loud. It's definitely one of the loudest venues in the league, and fans have had a lot to cheer about, the last 6-7 years. So it's a great venue. It'll be a lot of fun to be there and facing a great team on their home floor. That's the best challenge there is.
Your guys kind of like that, the idea of trying to quiet an opposing crowd like that?
Yeah, I think our guys are they're up for the challenge. We've been in this situation the last couple of years, a few times now, and where you're, on the road, and you don't have home court advantage. So it's all part of it. And when you're able to break through and get a win, it's a big confidence booster, and it's a lot of fun.
Look back at the film and the balance you guys had, so many people contributing, and the ability to rest your guys down the stretch. How important was that in the last game?
Well, yeah, I mean, we play a lot of people, and if we can get good contributions from the bench, get a little more rest for our key guys, our starters in particular, then it's very helpful. But every game's different, and you just have to approach it according to what comes our way.
Will that be more important even when you're playing every other day? Right now you got a nice big break, but those guys are going to get rest anyway, but start playing every other day.
Yeah, we don't like to play people, more than 40 minutes if we can afford it, and it worked well for us in the regular season, playing a lot of people and trusting a lot of people, and we plan on continuing that. And only a day of rest now for the rest of the series after Game 3, so the depth is important.
When you see Durant and Westbrook so many times in a given season, do you stick with a general philosophy on how to slow them down, or are there things that you continually learn and pick up about them that you can adjust to?
I think you still can learn some things as you go, even though we've played these guys so many times the last couple of years. You always pick up something here or there. Maybe it's a set that they add, or maybe they're playing a different lineup. We didn't see a lot of the Cantor-Adams lineup before, and that affects, how we guard Russell and KD. So there's always little twists and turns that you have to prepare for.
Can you talk a little bit about the two Brazilians, Barbosa and Anderson? How important they are for the team?
I love my two Brazilians. They're great. They're always smiling. They bring a lot of joy to the team. They're funny. They're both great players and very important for our depth, but also our chemistry. They make people happy.
In the first game, you said that the Thunders were pretty good at forcing you guys to do isolation. So the second game, do you guys change a little bit? Is there anything you forced them to do to win this game?
We were just more solid. We moved the ball better, but we made simpler plays. We had fewer turnovers. Our execution was just crisper, and we had a better rhythm as a result.
Yeah, so the second game, the second quarter, the Steph just I think they're just one attempt from the court. So is that part of your playing? You just try to play him more without the ball, or just?
We like to do both. I mean, Steph is so good with the ball, and but we have a lot of playmakers, so we like to run him off the ball and off some screens as well. So each game is a little different, and we have to figure out what works on that night. And sometimes he's better off the ball. Sometimes he's better on the ball, but he's usually pretty good either way.
How much do you still think back to the shot that Steph hit at Oklahoma City in overtime, like as kind of a point, a marking point, whether it's in your season or his just MVP season?
I don't think about it a whole lot. I mean, it was for sure the game of the year in terms of what people will remember from the regular season. It's an incredible shot. It was a spectacular comeback, but I don't spend a lot of time thinking about it. I'm sure we'll think about it tomorrow when we're in the building again, and you kind of have that memory, but doesn't mean anything now.
Are you surprised by how much you have been able to disturb Kevin Durant on offense? You have been able to disturb Kevin Durant on offense. Did you expect?
I don't know if we disturbed him that much. He had 23 points in the first half, so we're just doing our best. He's a great player. He's going to score. He's going to make difficult shots, and we're trying our best. And it's whatever happens. But I don't feel like we're disturbing him.
You said before the game that Robertson was going to be open. Why are you okay with him knowing that, with being open about him being open?
Well, he already knows. I mean, he watches the tape just like we do, and so it's not a secret. So like I said, every game you sort of pick your spots, and he's a really important player for them and a hell of a defender, and he's we got a game plan for him just like we got a game plan for everybody, and that entails different strategies and different things that we might do.
Kerr's got several turnovers trapping on the sideline. Two guys, Harrison, Barbosa, a couple other guys getting to the ball. And how important has that been? Just guys really getting to the ball and two guys forcing that.
Yeah, I thought our defensive activity was better in game 2 than it was in game 1. Game 1 we seemed tired in the second half, and we didn't force turnovers. I think they only committed 2 of them, and in the second half. So we had better activity for a longer period of time, and that helped us kind of break free a little bit.
What's Andre on defense? What is he doing better than anybody else?
Andre, what is he doing better?
What is he report
On defense?
Yes.
Better than?
What can you report from other defense? Why is he so good at it?
Andre's just an incredibly smart defensive player. He's got long arms. He anticipates plays before they happen. And that's a good combination, that kind of athleticism and the awareness and intelligence to kind of think what's happening before it does. He's really good at that.
Is he the kind of player that comes to see you and you see something on the court and you can still play, maybe you should try this?
Yeah. Andre is one of our guys who will offer suggestions. Draymond is another one, Bogut too. And we listen to our guys. They're the ones out there who are who are playing, and if they have an idea, we usually go with it.
I think Bob was saying yesterday that Andre can sometimes get so frustrated by what else is going on around him, guys that don't maybe see the game similarly, and sometimes he has to get over that. Do you see that?
Andre, I think he when the game turns into a pickup game, which happens occasionally in the regular season, where all the fundamentals and the rules go out the window and teams are just flying up and down the court, he's sort of disgusted by that, just like the coaching staff is. So he hates that. Andre is he's happiest when the game is being played at a really intelligent, competitive level, and that's what he respects and appreciates. So he's at his best during the playoffs because of that, because everyone has to execute and be at their best.
We all know this team hasn't lost 2 straight games. So after game 1, in what ways do you feel that it's not only helped you guys refocus, but also maybe help guard against complacency for the rest of the series?
Well, it's a great statistic. It's actually my favorite statistic on our team. Not losing back-to-back games at all. Never been done before. The 73 wins was spectacular and obviously a record and a great accomplishment. But I'm more proud of not losing back-to-back games. It just shows our resilience and shows that our guys are competitive. And when we do lose, they tend to get refocused quickly. So I think it helps knowing that in the playoffs that we've already sort of gone through an entire season that way. And it's a good reminder that we're good at bouncing back, and we showed that in game 2.
Do you feel as a coach that you have to guard at all against complacency?
Not really. The only time in the playoffs when you can maybe sense some complacency is after a blowout win, like in game 1, and then maybe you let your guard down in game 2, something like that, or if you're up 3-0, there's kind of some tendencies in the playoffs to maybe let your guard down a little bit, but I wouldn't call it complacency because it's a much different feel than the regular season.
It's like continuing to get better, or is it fully?
He's fine. Yeah, Bogues is good.